So good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on this webinar on the wealth management industry. As we speak, let us wait for a few more seconds, 15 to 30 seconds, as I can see many participants are in queue to join us. Today we will be covering basically in-depth analysis of the wealth management industry. So of late, we have seen during the last 3 to 4 years, many wealth managers have got listed. So companies like Anand Rathi Wealth, 361, which is basically an arm of India Infoline Group. Then Nuama Wealth, which has been recently we have seen there was a demerger between Edelweiss and Nuama. So the wealth management as well as the broking business was taken over by PAG. So that company got listed. At the same time, Prudent Corporate, which is one of the big distributor as far as mutual fund is concerned. So I think the entire this wealth management industry is buzzing with a lot of activity, and we feel that the industry has got a long runway in terms of growth, and hence all the companies which are part of this journey will definitely are likely to report good decent earning and healthy earning growth over the period of next 3 to 5 years. So joining me today is our BFSI analyst Shweta. So Shweta is an very seasoned analyst as far as BFSI sector is concerned. So she has got a very good grip on banking, NBFC, and all the entire companies which are linked to financial industry, whether it is asset management company, wealth management industry, broking, insurance, banking, as well as NBFC sector. So Shweta, during the last few months, has been meeting the management of all these 3-4 companies, and she has curated a very nice presentation which will help us decode this entire industry in a very simplistic manner. So I will request Shweta to take over from here and kindly enlighten us on the wealth management industry. Over to you, Shweta.
So, first we'll understand what is wealth management. Wealth management is basically advisory services which provide a holistic financial planning and management services to clients. It's take into account manage the customer's unique preferences regarding the long-term goals and personalize a plan using a range of financial products and services. The purpose of wealth management is to help clients to achieve financial stability as well as increase and safeguard their assets. So basically, wealth management, आपके goals, आपके जो financial goals है, if it is education of your children or marriage of your child, your retirement or whatever purpose it needs to serve according to your preference, ये सारे goals को focus में रखते हुए they develop a personalized plan which can be customized according to everybody's need, and a different products and services are provided to you. So now we'll move on to different products. Wealth management में क्या क्या services provide करते हैं? First is financial planning. The wealth managers help you achieve your financial goals. First, they try to identify what are your financial goals. It can be varied according to the person's preference. Second is it helps in wealth structuring. After identifying the goals, it helps to allocate the assets into a particular product and services, keeping in mind the solution for your family and business. Third is retirement. They help you provide a pool of funds for your comfortable future. Suppose you want to retire after 20 years. So what is the investment that you need to do today to have that pool of money after you retire for your comfortable living? That they try to plan. Third is tax obligation. They help you to understand your tax obligation, personal and both family business wise. Fourth is succession. It help the wealth managers help you to transfer of wealth from one generation to other generation. Since the preference of the old generation is different from the newer generation, they try to manage the smooth transmission of this fund into the preferred assets of the newer generation. Third is relocation. if you want to relocate to a newer country or move abroad, what will be the impact? And they help in smoother transition of on this front. Last is the philanthropy. If you want to put aside a sufficient part of your wealth towards charitable engagement, they help you with that. So they help you in achieving your near-term goals as well as your final goals like retirement and writing up your will also. So factors that are contributing to the growth of wealth management is India. First of all, India is the world's largest population. The population is expected to reach 1.7 billion by 2050, and the number of households is expected to reach 376 million over the same period of time. So this gives the wealth managers a huge pool of funds that they have access to grow in the next 5-10 years, in the next decade. Next is favorable demographics. India has one of the largest young population in the world with a median age of 28 years. This is the working population of India, which are earning and they have sufficient money in their hand, which they can think of investment in different products and services. Third is urbanization. In the last decade, we are seeing the trend that people are moving from Tier 3, Tier 2 cities to metro cities. This is leading to sufficient infrastructure development, which is leading to job creation. The job creation in this youth will help them to have money in their hand and then successful they can manage their successful investment. Third is increasing per capita GDP. As we know, India's GDP is growing at the range of 7 to 8%, while in comparison to world GDP, which is growing at 2 to 3%. So with the increase in GDP, the income per capita is also increasing. So this gives us sufficient headroom going forward. Third is increase in awareness of financial product. Earlier, people used to invest in gold or do an FD. Now they are getting more financially aware and they're trying to invest in equity, mutual funds, AIF. They're trying to deploy their assets into different instruments. Third is, if we compare India's AUM to GDP, it is still one of the lowest in the world. The money that is in the financial market, and if we compare it to the GDP, India is one of the lowest in the world, while US is the front runner in this. And last point is the saving rate is one of the highest in the world. Indians are very good at saving. They save up to 30% of their income. So the more you save, it can be either used for consumption or investment. So this will be a positive for the industry.
Shweta,
So
sorry
this
to
graph
interrupt.
shows
If you
you
can
the equity
move on to
AUM.
the earlier slide. या तो सिंस मेनी गाइज बहुत लोगों की रिक्वेस्ट आ रही कि हिंदी में भी बोलिए, तो मैं अब तक श्वेता ने जो पहली 2 स्लाइड का डिस्कशन किया है उसे हिंदी में समराइज करने की कोशिश करता हूं। तो श्वेता ने जो पहले 2 स्लाइड में ये कवर किया कि बेसिकली जो वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट इंडस्ट्री है, इसकी जो रिक्वायरमेंट होती है 2-3 एंगल से होती है। एक होती है कि सिंस हम अपने डे टू डे लाइफ में जो पैसा सेव करते हैं, वो कहीं ना कहीं अपना एक लाइफ में गोल होता है कि किसी का गोल होता है कि उसके बच्चे के पढ़ाई के लिए उसे पैसे जमा करना है, किसी का गोल होता है कि अपना घर बनाना है, व्हीकल लेना है, या तो रिटायरमेंट प्लानिंग। तो इसके चलते जो वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट इंडस्ट्री है, इसमें जो एक्सपर्ट्स होते हैं, बेसिकली जो रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर होते हैं, ये जो बड़े बड़े क्लाइंट्स होते हैं जिनकी सेविंग बहुत ज़्यादा है, तो बेसिकली वेल्थ मैनेजर जो जिनके 25 लाख 50 लाख के ऊपर की जिनकी एसेट होती है, उन्हें केटर करते हैं। और इसमें जो एसेट की लिमिट होती है, इट कैन गो अप टू 25 करोड़, 50 करोड़, 100 करोड़। तो बेसिकली ये इंडस्ट्री को जो केटर करने वाली जो प्लेयर हैं, उन्हें वेल्थ मैनेजर कहते हैं। और इंडिया में जिस तरह से जो ग्रोथ ड्राइवर है, जैसे इंडिया में जो पॉपुलेशन है, वर्ल्ड की लार्जेस्ट पॉपुलेशन है, जो डेमोग्राफिक है यंग डेमोग्राफिक है, और अर्निंग पॉपुलेशन बहुत ज़्यादा है इंडिया में। और जिस तरह से इंडिया का जो जीडीपी आगे जाके बढ़ेगा, जो हम थर्ड लार्जेस्ट इकोनॉमी होने की बात कर रहे हैं, तो उसके चलते जो वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट की जो इंडस्ट्री है, इसे एक बहुत बड़ा बूस्ट मिलेगा। और इसका एक सीधा सीधा एक इंडिकेटर है जो हम एक ट्रैक करते हैं, AUM टू GDP रेशियो। मतलब पूरे इंडिया में जितना वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट का AUM है और इंडिया का जो GDP है, अगर आप उसे कंपेयर करेंगे तो हम जब उसे ग्लोबल पैरामीटर्स पे हम ट्रैक करते हैं तो इंडिया का जो बेसिकली ये जो रेशियो है इक्विटी AUM टू GDP जो आप अभी हम चार्ट में देख रहे हैं, काफी लो नंबर है, 5% पर ही है। और एट द सेम टाइम जो सेविंग रेट्स है इंडिया में वो वन ऑफ द हाईएस्ट है, 30% का सेविंग रेट है। इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि अगर इंडिया में एक आम आदमी अगर 100 रुपए कमाता है तो उसमें से 30 रुपया वो 30 रुपए की बचत कर रहा है, और वो 30 रुपया जो है वो अलग अलग एसेट क्लास में डिप्लॉय कर रहा है। तो इट कैन बी वेदर जो 30 रुपए बच रहे हैं वो रियल एस्टेट में जा सकते हैं, गोल्ड में जा सकते हैं, इक्विटी मार्केट में डायरेक्टली आ सकता है, या तो इनडायरेक्टली म्यूचुअल फंड या इंश्योरेंस कंपनी के थ्रू भी अलग अलग फाइनेंशियल इंस्ट्रूमेंट में ये जा रहा है। और अगर हम इंडिया का इक्विटी टू AUM टू GDP रेशियो देखेंगे, जो कि लेफ्ट हैंड साइड का चार्ट है, वो आप देखेंगे कि सिर्फ 5% है, और उसके मुकाबले आप कनाडा में, यूएस में देखोगे 66%, 77%, 36% जापान में है, वर्ल्ड का एवरेज 36% है। तो कहीं ना कहीं एक बहुत बड़ा स्कोप है इक्विटी AUM का GDP के और बढ़ने का। और इसका एक मुख्य कारण यह है कि अभी भी जो मेजॉरिटी सेविंग्स का जो एक दरिया है इंडियन इन्वेस्टर का, वो फिक्स डिपॉजिट है, रियल एस्टेट है और गोल्ड है। तो बेसिकली अब ग्रेजुअली फाइनेंशियलाइजेशन की ओर हम बढ़ रहे हैं, और लोगों ने अब अपना जो सेविंग्स का एक हिस्सा है वो ग्रेजुअली अलग अलग फाइनेंशियल इंस्ट्रूमेंट में डिप्लॉय कर रहे हैं। या ओवर टू यू श्वेता।
So this equity to GDP ratio, you can see India is at 5, while the developed countries is at 77, Canada is at 66. So we have this huge gap laying ahead of us. Second is the savings rate in the right hand side. India has one of the best saving rates at 29%, along with Malaysia, which is at 29%. Singapore has the highest saving rate at 58%. So directly the savings rate will determine our our saving in the financial assets. So this is a good indicator that we are saving more and will deploy more into our investment. So this is a rough idea of the GDP of India and the savings. If we see in FY23, the GDP is around 269 trillion and the savings is around 73%, which is at most 25% approximately. And of this 73%, 25%, if we see that if it's getting invested in the financial assets, it comes around 18 trillion. The market size of the wealth management is around 18 trillion. So in FY28, we expect if the GDP to double and keeping the savings rate at 25 times, the savings percentage in trillion is around 145. And going ahead, if we expect the financial rate to improve from 25 to 40, we expect the market size to double to 44 trillion. The country is expected to become the fourth largest private wealth market globally by FY 2028. Now a comparison of India versus global. The GDP growth forecast for India stands at 6 to 7%, while for global, it's around 2 to 3%. The global wealth to GDP ratio is around 6.5 times. For India, it's around 4.5 times. The share of financial wealth is around 70% for global and only 25% for India. And among that, the professionally managed wealth is around 15% for India, while for global, it's around 75%. So you can see the huge gap between the underdeveloped country, and the matured markets. If we consider the different asset class like mutual fund, the growth in the last 10 years has been 20%. And if we compare the AUM to GDP ratio for India, it stands at only 16%, while for global it's around 116%. The second asset class is AIF. The growth in the last 10 years is around 70%. If we compare the AUM to GDP, it's around 1% for India and 13% for global. if we look at the AUM CAGR of insurance industry, it stands at 13%. If we compare the premium to GDP ratio, it's around 4% for India and 11% for global. You can see the different asset class, and in comparison to the asset class, the comparison with the GDP, India stands at a very nascent stage, showcasing the strong growth that the industry can face in the next decade.
Shweta, sorry to interrupt. If you can
Categorize,
move on earlier slide.
yeah.
आई विल एक्सप्लेन दैट इन हिंदी. तो बेसिकली श्वेता ये स्लाइड में ये बताने की कोशिश कर रही है कि अगर हम ग्लोबल और इंडियन मार्केट को कंपेयर करते हैं तो जो जीडीपी ग्रोथ का जो फोरकास्ट है ग्लोबली 2 से 3% है, और उसके सामने इंडिया का जो ग्रोथ रहेगा 6 to 7% रहेगा, जो कि वन ऑफ द फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग इकोनॉमी है. और जब भी इकोनॉमी 6 to 7% से ग्रो होती है, डेफिनेटली उनकी जो जनसंख्या होती है, पॉपुलेशन, उनकी भी कहीं ना कहीं आमदनी बढ़ती है और इसका सीधा सीधा इम्पैक्ट फाइनेंशियल मार्केट में हमें देखने मिलता है. और इसी के चलते अगर हम देखते हैं कि जो वेल्थ टू जीडीपी रेशियो है ग्लोबली जो एवरेज है वो 6.5 टाइम्स है. अगर मतलब मैं टोटल जो वेल्थ है वर्ल्ड की और उसे अगर मैं जीडीपी से डिवाइड करता हूं तो 6.5 है, और उसके सामने अगर इंडिया का जो रेशियो है 4.5 है. तो ये एक नंबर ये दर्शाता है कि आगे जाके इसमें स्कोप काफी बड़ा है इन टर्म्स ऑफ इंक्रीमेंटल वेल्थ टू जीडीपी रेशियो का. अगर हम शेयर ऑफ फाइनेंशियल वेल्थ, इसका मतलब क्या है कि अगर 100 रुपया ग्लोबली अगर कोई बंदा बचा रहा है, उसमें से वो 70 रुपया अपना फाइनेंशियल एसेट में लगा रहा है. फाइनेंशियल एसेट कुछ भी हो सकती है, म्यूचुअल फंड हो सकता है, इंश्योरेंस हो सकती है, बैंक डिपॉजिट हो सकती है. और उसके सामने इंडिया में ये जो रेशियो है 25% है. मतलब इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि अगर आप 100 रुपए अगर आप इंडियन आदमी अगर सेव करता है, इंडिया का जो कोई बंदा है वो सेव करता है, तो उसमें से वो सिर्फ 25 रुपए फाइनेंशियल एसेट में लगा रहा है. और जो 75 रुपीज है ही इज इन्वेस्टिंग इधर इन गोल्ड, या तो गोल्ड में लगा रहा है या रियल एस्टेट में लगा रहा है. तो कहीं ना कहीं जो रेशियो है काफी डिस्प्रपोर्शनेटली लो है. इंडिया में 25% है और ग्लोबली ये रेशियो 70% है. हालांकि जैसे जैसे इकोनॉमी, हमारी इकोनॉमी इमर्जिंग इकोनॉमी से होकर के डेवलप इकोनॉमी के और जाएगी, तीन नंबर की जब हम इकोनॉमी बन जाएंगे, तो ये जो रेशियो है फाइनेंशियल वेल्थ का, ओवरऑल वेल्थ में कहीं ना कहीं इसमें हम एक बढ़ोतरी आते हुए देखेंगे. और अगर हम प्रोफेशनली मैनेज फाइनेंशियल वेल्थ देखते हैं, इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि जैसे वेल्थ मैनेजर की हम अभी यहाँ बात कर रहे हैं, तो जो 75% वेल्थ ग्लोबली है, मतलब जो ग्लोबली जो पैसा है उसका 75% जो पैसा है एक प्रोफेशनल वेल्थ मैनेजर वो मैनेज करता है. हालांकि इंडिया में वो जो रेशियो है सिर्फ 15% है. इसका मतलब एक काफी बड़ा स्कोप है ये इंडस्ट्री को, वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट इंडस्ट्री को यहाँ से ग्रो होने में. और इसका सीधा सीधा हम एक जो डेटा पॉइंट मैं आपके सामने रखना चाहूंगा वो है कि अगर हम एसेट क्लास जैसे म्यूचुअल फंड, इंश्योरेंस और एआईएफ इंडस्ट्री देखते हैं, और इसका अगर हम कंपैरिजन करते हैं कि जीडीपी के सामने इनका जो एयूएम है वो कितना है, तो अगर आप देखेंगे पहला जो नीचे का जो टेबल है उसमें जो पहली लाइन है म्यूचुअल फंड की, उसमें एयूएम की ग्रोथ पिछले 10 साल में इंडिया में 20% रही है. हालांकि डिस्पाइट ऑफ सच ए रोबस्ट ग्रोथ, इतनी अच्छी ग्रोथ होने के बावजूद जो एयूएम का जो परसेंटेज है जीडीपी का वो सिर्फ 16% है इंडिया में, और ग्लोबली ये जो रेशियो है 100% के ऊपर है. तो ये क्लियर इंडिकेशन है कि म्यूचुअल फंड इंडस्ट्री के लिए काफी एक लंबा रनवे है, एक काफी एक अच्छी ग्रोथ हम अगले आने वाले 5 से 10 सालों में देख सकते हैं. सिमिलरली इंश्योरेंस अगर आप देखेंगे तो पिछले 10 सालों में इसका जो एयूएम है ओवरऑल जो ग्रोथ है 13% रही है. हालांकि इसका जो प्रीमियम टू जीडीपी रेशियो हम देखते हैं तो ग्लोबली ये 11% है और इंडिया में सिर्फ 4% है. तो ये इंडस्ट्री में भी एक काफी अच्छी ग्रोथ हम आते हुए देखेंगे. और एआईएफ जो एक स्पेशल कैटेगरी होती है, बेसिकली एआईएफ इज अ कैटेगरी जहां इन्वेस्टर को मिनिमम 1 करोड़ रुपीज इन्वेस्ट करना होता है. तो अगर हम उसका एयूएम टू जीडीपी रेशियो देखते हैं तो इंडिया में सिर्फ 1% है और ग्लोबली ये जो नंबर है 13% है. तो कहीं ना कहीं तीनों इंडस्ट्री में एक रोबस्ट ग्रोथ और एक अच्छा ग्रोथ हम आते हुए देखेंगे अगले 5 से 10 सालों में. या ओवर टू यू श्वेता फॉर नेक्स्ट स्लाइड.
Categorize the client into mainly three broad segments. First is the mass market, which is around 50 lakhs to 5 crore. Next is HNI and affluent, which is around 5 crore to 50 crore. And above that is ultra HNI. So basically, when we categorize the clients into these broad segments, the product needs for different clients is very different. The mass market maybe not having a very they're not maybe involved in taking the decision of where they want to invest. They want to have a investment in the mutual fund, and they want to have a decent growth in next decade or 10-20 years down the line. While for ultra HNI and HNI affluent clients, they have very specific need. They want to get in. They want to be a part of the investment decision in different products and services. So the product proposition for individually, all the segment can be very different, and the type of service they need can be very different. So this is the entire framework of the mutual fund distribution. First of all, what is a mutual fund? Mutual fund is basically an investment pool of funds which can be invested into different products and services to generate a return. This pool of fund is basically managed by the asset management companies for a particular commission. And if you see in this graph, the fund flow comes from the client to the mutual fund distributors. Then it comes to the wealth managers to the mutual fund. And if you see the commission is shared between the wealth managers and mutual fund distributors. And the client at the end received a return from the investment, and they get services from the mutual fund distributors. So this is the entire framework where the mutual fund and asset management works.
Shweta, sorry to interrupt. So just I would like to explain this slide in Hindi. सो बेसिकली अगर ये स्लाइड दिखाने का एक तात्पर्य ये है कि बेसिकली जो वेल्थ मैनेजर होते हैं वो एक म्यूचुअल फंड एक उनका एक बहुत बड़ा इंस्ट्रूमेंट होता है कमीशन या फीस अर्न करने का, और उसी के चलते श्वेता ये कहना चाह रही है कि जो पूरा जो म्यूचुअल फंड इंडस्ट्री है ये कैसे काम करती है। तो अगर आप देखेंगे जो थर्ड नंबर का जो ब्लॉक है ऊपर से हम देखते हैं वेल्थ मैनेजर का, ये बेसिकली वेल्थ मैनेजर जो होता है वो एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनी और एट द सेम टाइम जो क्लाइंट है इनके बीच में कहीं ना कहीं रिसाइड होता है। तो जब वो क्लाइंट से पैसे लेते हैं और वो उन्हें सजेस्ट करते हैं कि आप HDFC म्यूचुअल फंड या ICICI प्रूडेंशियल म्यूचुअल फंड या कोई भी म्यूचुअल फंड कंपनी में आप पैसे लगाएं, और जब वो क्लाइंट वेल्थ मैनेजर के थ्रू पैसे लगाता है म्यूचुअल फंड में, तो जो म्यूचुअल फंड कंपनी है जिसे हम एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनी कहते हैं, वो वेल्थ मैनेजर को एक कमीशन देता है, एक फीस देता है। अभी जो फीस है ये इसके 2 या 3 टाइप होते हैं जो श्वेता आगे जा करके अपने आगे की स्लाइड्स में कवर करेगी। या ओवर टू यू श्वेता।
Yeah. So basically, these wealth managers are mutual fund distributors on the primary service is to distribute mutual funds. Secondary, on the other aspect, they can sell AIF, insurance, third party distribution, AMC, broking, and they can also provide services like institutional broking. So this majorly they divide the product array into debt mutual fund, equity mutual fund, and hybrid categories. The hybrid categories basically is a combination of both equity as well as a derivative product. So this is the entire product array that the mutual fund that the wealth managers provide.
So basically, Shweta, just I would like to highlight this in Hindi. तो बेसिकली श्वेता ये स्लाइड के थ्रू ये समझाने की कोशिश कर रही है कि जो वेल्थ मैनेजर होता है वो सिर्फ म्यूचुअल फंड ही नहीं सेल करता है। वो जब कोई AIF है वो किसी थर्ड पार्टी का AIF प्रोडक्ट सेल करेगा तो उसमें भी उसे कमीशन मिलता है। वो किसी का इंश्योरेंस सेल करेगा तो वो उसमें भी वेल्थ मैनेजर को कमीशन मिलेगा। एट द सेम टाइम एसेट मैनेजमेंट कंपनी का जिस तरह से हमने देखा कोई म्यूचुअल फंड सेल करेगा तो उसे भी उसका कमीशन मिलता है। अगर वो उसके जो एग्जिस्टिंग क्लाइंट बेस है उन्हें ब्रोकिंग सर्विस, इक्विटी ब्रोकिंग सर्विस ऑफर करेगा तो उसके चलते वो एक ब्रोकिंग इनकम जनरेट करेगा। एट द सेम टाइम कुछ जो वेल्थ मैनेजर हैं वो अपना एक इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग डिवीजन भी चलाते हैं जहां वो कॉर्पोरेट्स को मदद करते हैं फंड मोबिलाइज करने में। तो ये जो सारे प्रोडक्ट हैं कुछ कंपनियां सारे प्रोडक्ट ऑफर करती है और कुछ कंपनी एक निश सेगमेंट में फंक्शन करती हैं। तो जब हम जो 4 कंपनीज हैं वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट इंडस्ट्री में जो लिस्टेड कंपनी है, जब हम वो समझेंगे एक एक कंपनी को, उस वक्त आपको समझ आएगा कि कुछ कंपनीज हैं जो सभी प्रोडक्ट ऑफर कर रही हैं और कुछ कंपनीज एक सर्टन निश प्रोडक्ट में काम कर रही हैं। या ओवर टू यू श्वेता।
different operating models where the wealth managers operate. First is the pure automated advisory model. Here they have a platform which is a one-stop solution for all their clients. They interact through the platform, and if they have more mutual fund distributors connecting to that platform, they have a higher say while they negotiate the commission with the AMC. This kind of model is followed by Prudent Corporate Advisor Limited. Second is hybrid advice model. This is basically a combination of both a relation manager model as well as a platform business. Basically, before boarding, the company has this discretion that if they want the customer to have a very personalized services, that they are managed by the RMs, who take into consideration the client's customized need and develop a product according to their need, or they can also scale. They can also scale their business through the platform, which is very scalable. So they provide services to both HNI as well as the mass affluent segment. This kind of model is followed by Anand Rathi Wealth. And the third is holistic goal-based financial planning and wealth management model. This is basically providing the entire financial solution to your clients. This is done by the industry leaders who are 361 Wealth Management as well as Numama Wealth. They have wealth management, asset management. They provide lending on those shares. They have broking. They sell third-party products. They have their own AMCs. So they provide everything, anything and everything, so that the client doesn't go to any other wealth managers. This is a very good business model if you want to be the sector leader and don't want to lose your clients on any front. This is a very sustainable business model. Next, here we'll understand the importance of technological platform. Here now, every player has given certain emphasis to the technological platform, because even though the relationship manager are very knowledge person, they have financial agility to deal with every client, but they cannot service to a huge number of clients. The serving capacity of the RMs are limited, as well as the number of RM in the industry is also limited, because these people have very good knowledge in financial products and services, and it takes substantial effort and time to groom the RMs. So when you have a technological platform, you can send a product or a service to n number of thousands and lakhs of clients just with a click of a button. And if you have this technological platforms, first you start with mutual fund distribution, and again if you want to get into insurance selling also, you can just onboard the product to this platform which is already there. So that is the benefit, and it's needed. It's very essential for all these wealth managers to have a very good technological platform to scale up this business.
Yeah, so basically, Shweta, just I will explain this in हिंदी. तो बेसिकली जिस तरह से हमने देखा कि जो वेल्थ मैनेजर है काफ़ी अलग अलग वैरायटी के प्रोडक्ट्स ऑफर कर सकते हैं, तो जो 4 कंपनीज लिस्टेड है उन्होंने अपना अपना एक निश या बिजनेस मॉडल क्रिएट कर लिया है. तो सबसे ऊपर जो है पहले लाइन में जिस तरह से लिखा है प्योर ऑटोमेटेड एडवाइजरी मॉडल, जो कि एक प्रूडेंट कॉर्पोरेट एडवाइजर करके एक कंपनी है, लिस्टेड एंटिटी है, उनका ये एक बिजनेस मॉडल है जहां वो लोग ऑटोमेटेड उन्होंने एक टेक्नोलॉजी प्लेटफॉर्म बनाया है और उसी के चलते वो एक लो कॉस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी बेस्ड प्लेटफॉर्म के थ्रू अपना बिजनेस मॉडल रन करते हैं. एट द सेम टाइम दूसरा जो मॉडल है हाइब्रिड एडवाइजरी मॉडल, जो कि आनंद राठी वेल्थ का है, अगेन अ लिस्टेड एंटिटी. इसमें अगर आप देखेंगे तो आनंद राठी वेल्थ का ने कहीं ना कहीं एक ऑन वन हैंड एक टेक्नोलॉजी का प्लेटफॉर्म भी बनाया है, ऑन अदर हैंड एक रिलेशनशिप मैनेजर की टीम है जहां क्लाइंट को हैंड होल्डिंग करने में काम करती है. और अगर आप देखेंगे जो बाकी की 2 कंपनी है 361 वेल्थ और नुआमा, एक होलिस्टिक गोल बेस्ड फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग और वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट अप्रोच करते हैं, जिसमें इनके रिलेशनशिप मॉडल मैनेजर भी रहेंगे एट द सेम टाइम इनका टेक्नोलॉजी प्लेटफॉर्म भी होगा, और जब वो क्लाइंट से अपना जब इंटरेक्शन करेंगे तो इट विल बी मोर ऑन अ गोल बेस्ड फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग। व्हेन आई से गोल बेस्ड फाइनेंशियल प्लानिंग, यहाँ नजरिया सिर्फ फीस कमाने का नहीं होता है, क्लाइंट के साथ उसकी जो जर्नी है अगले 10 से 20 साल की, 25 साल की, रिटायरमेंट तक, वो पूरी उसे कैप्चर करने की कोशिश करते हैं लाइफ साइकिल में, और अकॉर्डिंगली वो उन्हें वैसे प्रोडक्ट पिच करते हैं। केस इन पॉइंट, अगर कोई बंदा 30 ईयर्स का है और वो वेल्थ मैनेजर के पास आता है और वो कहता है कि मेरे पास आज 50 करोड़ रुपए हैं, मैं इसे प्रिजर्व भी करना चाहता हूँ और ग्रो भी करना चाहता हूँ, तो आप मुझे क्या एडवाइस करेंगे? तो गाइज लाइक 361 एंड नुआमा विल एडवाइस देम कि आप, सिंस आपका एज अभी कम है, आपके पास 30 साल का और वर्किंग एज बचा हुआ है, तो इन दैट केस आप यहाँ आप थोड़ा पैसा म्यूचुअल फंड में लगाइए, आप थोड़ा इंश्योरेंस लीजिए, और ग्रेजुअली जब उसका एज 30 से 40 या 40-50 की ओर जाएगा, उसका जो प्रोडक्ट मिक्स है वो चेंज करके कहीं ना कहीं उसके जो गोल रहेंगे, एस्पिरेशन रहेंगे, उसको पूरा करने की कोशिश करते हैं। तो बेसिकली इनका जो लाइफ साइकिल होता है काफी बड़ा होता है नुआमा वेल्थ और 361 का। या ओवर टू ईश्वता।
Discuss how the commission is divided into wealth managers and the mutual fund distributors as well as the aims. The first part is this: the term that is used for charging the commission is total expense ratio. It is the cost of managing the mutual fund, and this is expressed in term of per unit. So there can be three components of that. First is the management fees. This is closely tied to the mutual fund performance. So the strategic and decision-making ability of the fund managers directly detect the mutual fund revenue and the returns. So the higher the return, the higher management fees they can charge. So basically all the AMCs, HDFC AMC, Nippon AMC, all this part of the tier ratio goes to them. The second is the administrative cost, which is managing the mutual fund, which is, and entails various costs such as register and transfer fee, custodian fee, legal and audit fee, management expense, advertisement and marketing expense. The administrative cost is basically given to the registrar, which is companies like CAMS and KFIN. They take this administrative cost part. And the last part is the distribution cost, which is given to the wealth managers. They charge a distribution fee or a commission for selling this mutual fund, and they charge to the maker of the products, not to the clients. If they charge basically 80 to 50 bips, so they have to negotiate this ratio from the AMC only. They don't charge it to the client directly. This is the whole bracket of tier ratio. If you can see, the tier ratio for equity funds is around is slightly higher than debt funds because equity have higher risk and higher return. So they charge a higher tier when it comes to the equity fund. On the first 500 crore, the tier for equity is around 2.25%. For debt, it is around 2%. On next 250 crore, as the AUM increases to 750 crore and more, the tier ratio declines to 2% for debt, for equity, and for debt it declines to 1.75%. And for the next 1000 crore, it further declines to 1.75%. So as the mutual fund gains size and becomes a larger fund, the tier ratio declines. So if we have a mutual fund, suppose Prudent is selling a mutual fund of HDFC AMC, a particular large cap fund. As the fund grows, the commission from the new inflow of funds will decline. But since India is such at a nascent stage, the demand is so large that this decline is not much negative to the wealth managers. Now we look at the listed players in this segment. First, the largest market leader is 361 Wealth, who has a market cap of 25,000 and AUM of around 2 lakh crore. The product is basically, it is into wealth management, asset management, broking, and also third-party distribution. The next is Anand Rathi Wealth. The market cap is around 16,000 crore. It manages a AUM of 55,000 crore, and it's purely into wealth management. Next is Nuvama Wealth Management. The mem cap is around 13,000 crore. The fund it's managed around 3 lakh crore. It's into wealth management, asset management, client as custody and clearing, IE and IB. It is institutional equity and institutional broking. And the smallest player in this segment is Prudent Corp. With a market cap of 5,000 crore, it manages an AUM of 77,000 crore, and it's a pure wealth management play. Now we'll look into 361. This is the financial of 361. As you can see, the revenue for 9 months is around 1172 crore. The PAT is around 513 crore. The EPS is around 21 rupees. The ROE is around 22%. This wealth managers are very cash-rich company, and they generate very strong ROE. The PE for the stock stands at 35 times. Now, if we do a detailed analysis of 361, it's basically into all the segments like wealth, PMS, AFI, broking, asset management, third-party distribution. It has a leadership position in the wealth management, and lately it is focusing on 5-point strategy, which is increasing the wallet share of the existing client, expanding into new geography, increasing the share of intergenerational transfer, wealth transfer, and scaling up its AMC business. So 361 is right now on a investment phase. It's trying to get into the HNI segment, which is expected to go live in April 24. And it is planning also an offshore fund, which is expected to go live in July 24. So the investment is in this new segment will keep the cost elevated. So in the medium term, we are slightly cautious, and we are waiting to see how this new development on the different segments such as HNI and offshore is going to come up. So the next player, which is Anand Rathi Wealth. Anand Rathi is in this financial landscape for from 2002, and it's catered to the HNI and the mass affluent segment. It basically has two segments, which is a private wealth and digital wealth. The private wealth part is managed by the relationship manager, while the digital wealth part is managed by a platform business. It also has a third segment, which is Omni Financial Advisor. Hereby, it has a platform whereby it's both the financial distributors, and they give advisors on various stocks and model portfolio, and they charge a fees for that. It has around 400 partners who help in sourcing the AM, and it has a revenue sharing model of 60-40 ratio. The increased participation of retail investors are very helpful for this stock, and it has increased the new inflows in the mutual fund. The company is planning to onboard new relationship manager and is training its assistant manager to upgrade into relationship manager, as the skills of RMs are very challenging to find. It's a very cash-rich company, and it has a dividend payout ratio of 25 to 50%. The model portfolio basically have an alpha return of 12 to 14%. The company remains very optimistic that it will grow its PAT around 35 to 40% for next decade. If you can see, this is the financial of Anand Rathi Wealth. The revenues are for 540 crores. The PAT is at 169 crores. If we see the FY23 numbers, it is already at that level. The EPS have crossed FY23 at 52 rupees. The ROE is at 32 times. It's trading at a PE of 73. Then we have Nuvama. Nuvama was listed 2 quarters back. It was basically formed from the demerger of the wealth management arm of Edelweiss Financial Services, post acquisition by the shareholding by majority shareholding by BAC. The company involves in providing wealth management services to ultra HNI and HNI. Apart from that, it also has alternate focused asset management, capital market, custody clearing, investment banking, and institutional equity. The company basically operates in two segments. First is Nuvama Private, which basically into ultra HNI segment, and the second is Nuvama Wealth, which is into HNI segment. The ultra HNI segment is continue to benefit from the investment banking client. In third Q, the company has added 200 families. It is entering new location. It has added 3 new location in quarter 3. It has increased its RM count by 15. The new flows remains very high at 38% when it's come to the 9-month opening balance. We expect the traction in the Nuvama Private Ultra HNI segment remains very good, and we expect more than 20% growth in the recurring revenue. Next, we have Nuvama Wealth, which is basically into HNI segment. The company, the basic difference between 361 and Nuvama Wealth HNI segment is this book is very seasoned. They have started the HNI segment last decade. So they have a very seasoned book, and they have the experience of how to they have a profitable business, already made a profitable business after the HNI segment. They have added around 100 RMs in the last 9 months. The new flows have been very strong at 22% on the 3Q level. The recurring yields have remained very strong. We factor around more than 30% revenue growth in next 2 years. So this, along with it has also the clearing and custody assets, as well as the IB and IE, which is providing sufficient traction to the main business of Nuvama Wealth and Nuvama Private. We remain very bullish on this stock. It's trading at a PE of 20 times. The next is Prudent Corp. It is the third largest mutual fund distributor in the country. It has a equity mix of around 94%. The company majorly sells mutual fund and insurance product. So according to the new OM guidelines, the for insurance product, the premium on life and health can increase to 20%. With this, the company is making more margin in the insurance product. So lately, we have seen that the share of insurance product has increased from 7% to 12% for the Prudent Corp. It has presently a pool of 28,000 mutual fund distributors empaneled with it, and more than 2/3 of these distributors are more than 5 years. So they have started contributing materially to the fund flows and SIP accretion. It's a pure digital platform play. It also have different platforms like Fund Bazaar, which is an online investment platform. Second, it has Prudent Connect, which is a virtual office for all the mutual fund distributors and provide them end-to-end support to all these mutual fund distributors. Third is the Wise Basket, which provides an online facility to invest in multiple model stock portfolio. Then we have Credit Basket. It's an online credit or financing facilitation portal. Third, we have True Bazaar. It's an online trading platform. So basically, it's a pure IT platform play, Prudent Corp, but it is placed in the very niche segment of mass affluent. We expect very strong growth in this segment. It's trading at a slightly higher PE of 54 times, but the growth in this segment is very immense. So one of our top pick in this segment is Nuvama Wealth, and followed by that we have Prudent Corp. Looking at the huge opportunity that it has in front of it. Thank you. And if anybody have any question, you can write down in the comment box.
या माफ कीजिएगा, आई थिंक थोड़ा टेक्निकल इश्यू हो गया था, उसके चलते लॉग ऑफ हो गया था मैं। तो बेसिकली मैं ये कहने की कोशिश कर रहा था कि नुवामा वेल्थ जो है हमारी टॉपिक है आज के डेट में, और बेसिकली जो वेल्थ मैनेजमेंट इंडस्ट्री है, अगर हम इसको देखें तो इसमें काफ़ी एक बड़ी अपॉर्चुनिटी है ग्रोथ की। इंडस्ट्री जो है 25 से 30% से ग्रो कर रही है, और जो तीनों चारों प्लेयर हैं लिस्टेड प्लेयर, इन्हें इनमें भी कहीं ना कहीं ये जो ग्रोथ है वो रिफ्लेक्ट होगी। हालांकि आज के डेट में अगर हम वैल्यूएशन की बात करें और ग्रोथ को अगर हम कंबाइन करते हैं, तो नुवामा वेल्थ इज द वन कंपनी विच वी लाइक फ्रॉम अ मीडियम। या तो बेसिकली इन केस यू हैव एनी क्वेरी, अगर आपको कोई भी सवाल है तो आप अपने कमेंट बॉक्स में डाल सकते हैं, एंड वी विल ट्राई टू एड्रेस दोस क्वेरीज। सो पहला क्वेश्चन है जय कुमार जी से, थैंक्स फॉर आस्किंग द क्वेश्चन। What are the legal safeguards if the wealth management mismanages the wealth? So basically, I don't think so there is any legal safeguard if in case the wealth manager mismanages the wealth. However, before signing an agreement with the client, am I audible now? Am I audible now, Siddharth ji? Yeah. So I think, yeah, I am audible now. So basically, I was trying to address the first question on what are the legal safeguard if the wealth manager manages the wealth. So basically, what I feel is that whenever a large client with a pool of 5 crore, 10 crore, 50 crore, they approaches the wealth manager. So there is certain document which is being signed by when a client is onboarded. And in that, there are a lot of clauses which safeguard the wealth manager. So I don't think so. There is any risk as far as wealth manager is concerned. And at the same time, since the AUM or the wealth to be managed is significantly large, usually they try to diversify the asset across the multiple product classes, and that itself saves the wealth manager. And one has to keep in mind that in most of the product, wealth manager is just deploying the money in some third party product, right? A case in point, suppose I am deploying money in mutual fund. So ultimately, it is the headache of the mutual fund manager to deliver the return, and I am just getting a commission out of that. In case that mutual fund is not able to perform well, I will suggest my client to move on to some other better, right? Similarly, insurance is a product which offers a combination of protection as well as kind of a minuscule return on investment product. So there again the chances of going wrong is very less. Broking as a business anyway, that is the call and trade broking business. So there everything is confirmed with the client before execution of any trade. So again there is a kind of confirmation from the client before execution of trade. So again wealth manager or a broker is safe over there. Only in case wealth manager is running his or the firm is running AIF or PMS on his own, and the fund is getting deployed in that, and in case there is an underperformance, that can lead to the outflow. So I don't think so.
So, yeah, I just add one point.
Yeah, please.
The benefit of this non-bank wealth managers is that they can provide different types of mutual fund, and they're not restricted to selling only, suppose any bank, Kotak cannot sell any other bank's mutual fund or AMCs. So this is one of the beneficiaries. So if the product is not performing, they can switch to different product.
Yeah, so moving on to the next question from Mr. Argumugam, which sector mutual fund is best to invest now? Usually what we suggest is that rather than investing in one particular sector specific mutual fund, I would suggest you should go for an generic large cap or maybe a flexi cap mutual fund which caters to a large universe across the large cap and mid-sized companies. Because sector specific is slightly risky, because sometime in case that sector don't perform over the period of maybe next 12 to 18 months or 3 years, then you may see a big underperformance in that sector specific mutual fund. So it is always advisable that you stick to general diversified large cap or flexi cap mutual fund to invest your hard earned money. And again, if you want a suggestion that which mutual fund is the best at the current juncture, so we are releasing a Fundometer report in the name of Fundometer, wherein we are suggesting top 5 mutual fund under all the categories, whether it is large cap, flexi cap, mid cap, small cap, and hybrid. So this report is available on SBI Securities website. If you go to the research section, there is a mutual fund, a separate section of mutual fund, and you can access that report from there. And it's freely available, open for all, whether you are a client of SBI or not. You can definitely go and access that report through our website. At the same time, we have curated certain packages on SBI Securities mobile app. You will see many packages over there, young guns, so on and so forth, which is a combined package of 4 to 5 scheme. And if you want to deploy your fund through in the form of package, you can refer to that on SBI Securities mobile app also. So next is from Siddharji. Siddharji, thanks for attending this webinar, and happy Holi to you and to your family and all the members who are attending this webinar today. Yes, definitely we will share this video on YouTube post conclusion of this webinar, and it is available. It will be available to all of you once we have completed this webinar. The next question is from Sabu Nayarji. Why I have not got South Indian Bank right issue share allotment? Sabuji, in case you have completed the formalities of applying in the South Indian Bank right issue, I think you will be allocated the share once this formality is completed. So don't worry, nothing to worry on that front. So there is a particular timeline which need to be followed for right issue, and once that timeline is over, definitely the shares will be allocated in your demat account. Again, the next question is from Mr. Argumugam. Right time to invest in mutual fund is after election. So basically, I don't think so. One should time investment in mutual fund. Anyway, mutual funds are relatively safer asset, And what I would suggest that since there are chances of volatility till the time of election, you can divide your corpus into three parts and deploy in the month of March, April, May, and June. So you get to ride the entire volatility for next 2 to 3 months in case you want to deploy a lump sum amount. So break it into three parts. And if you want to do an SIP, I think SIP again your investment horizon has to be at least 3 to 5 years. So don't think in case you want to do SIP, you can start right away. And anyway, SIP as a product has got an benefit of averaging over the period of longer period of time. And in case equity market doubles over the period of next 5 years from here, you will definitely reap an handsome return over the period of 3 to 5 years. So the next question is from Shri World. Are there any major differences in the wealth management practice of by asset management companies of USA versus India? So I don't think so. There is any difference as far as wealth management practices are concerned by asset management company. Ultimately, the key basic principle under which all the mutual fund or scheme operates is the basic concept is of diversification. So ultimately, if you see any mutual fund scheme, at least they would have invested in a 20 to 30 number of stocks ideas. The weightages again are divided in the multiple sector. And in case the mutual fund is dedicated to any mid cap or small cap scheme, they still have got an leeway under the AMFI rule to deploy 35% of the corpus in the apart from small cap or mid cap universe. So in case a case in point, suppose Nippon India small cap fund is there, so they can anytime go and deploy 30 to 35% amount in the large cap also, just to safeguard the small cap investor. So as per the rule, 65% of the amount need to be invested in the name in the within the universe of the said name of the scheme of mutual fund. So I don't think so there is any difference in wealth management practices as far as USA or India is concerned. The only difference is the amount of money which this industry is managing. So as we all know, in US, since all the savings are rooted into the equity market, either through mutual fund or directly into the equity. Hence, the size of the mutual fund industry in US is far bigger as compared to India. And that's I would read this sign as a positive sign for Indian mutual fund industry. They have got a long runway of growth ahead of them. As we speak, we are close to 18 to 19,000 crore of SIP amount, which we are seeing on a monthly basis. And don't be surprised that this number will keep on increasing as we go ahead over the period of next 3 to 5 years. The next question is from Mr. Mahalingam. Do these models offer penalty to the client for non-performance and below benchmark, especially when they charge higher fees and handle crores of money? To be fair to the client, there has to be a quid pro quo. So I think there is no clause or a penalty for a wealth manager for underperformance because ultimately wealth manager is just facilitating a transaction between client and the product company which is offering the product. So whether it is mutual fund product or whether it is the insurance product, ultimately it is the headache of the mutual fund manager or insurance company to deliver the return or the promise which they have told at the time of offering the product to the client. So there is no penalty clause for a wealth manager, and to that extent they are safe. So don't worry in case like similar to other manufacturing firm where there is a guarantee which is offered by any manufacturing firm, and in case they fail to deliver on that, there is some penalty clause. So such penalty clause don't exist in wealth manager, and to that extent there is no risk as far as profitability of the wealth manager is concerned. So Ravindraji, again, I would request you to access our report of mutual fund research on SBI Securities website. It is available for all. So you can go into the research section, and within that mutual fund, the report is available for you. Tarachanji is asking question on ASK Automotive, although this question is out of purview of this webinar. But what I would suggest is that we have recommended this stock also under our pick of the week section. And post IPO, we have seen a big underperformance. But don't worry, we continue to remain positive on the company. And in fact, the entire auto and auto ancillary industry is looking pretty robust from a next 12 to 18 month perspective. And kindly continue to stay remain invested. I'm sure you will able to generate a decent return as far as ASK Automotive is concerned. So basically, the next question is from Shirish. He's asking a question on what should be the ideal buy price of Engineers India Limited. So I think post this correction, we have seen a decent bounce back in entire public sector companies today. And I think Engineers India was also up by 10 to 15%. I think price range between 175 to 200 is a decent price band to enter the Engineers India in case you have got an investment horizon of 12 to 18 months. And definitely, I am expecting that the fair value of the business is close to 300 rupees. And let the market stabilize. Maybe you can deploy your capital gradually as far as Engineers India is concerned. Yeah, so next question is from Mr. Jimmy Narula. Kindly share your view on Geo Financial Services. What is the price to enter in a Geo Financial Services? Again, Geo Financial Services, as we all know, is a financial arm of Reliance Mukesh Ambani Group. And they have recently done few announcement pertaining to the new businesses which they want to set up, whether it is on working capital funding for SME sector or whether it is mutual fund wherein they have done a JV with BlackRock. And recently there was some excitement wherein they have launched some product through their website also and through their retail chain. So I think if somebody want to invest in a Geo Financial Services, first of all, one need to keep a slightly longer horizon in terms of investing in Geo Financial Services is concerned. As of now, there is no business on ground. The company need to gradually build the franchisee, and it may happen that the company may adopt an inorganic growth strategy wherein they may go and acquire few listed or unlisted NBFCs to ramp up their businesses. So let us see, wait and watch how this thing will pan out. So in case you want to deploy your money in Geo Financial Services, kindly stay invested. If you have investment horizon of 3 to 5 years, then only you should consider this company as an investment idea in your portfolio. I think now we are getting into a general topic, and everyone has started asking question on other sectors. And since this webinar was restricted to wealth management industry and BFSI, I would request everyone to, in case you have got query on BFSI or wealth management industry, we can accommodate that. For the remaining query, we will definitely have some other webinar wherein we will accommodate other questions on other companies. Anyway, you are free to reach out to us through your advisor or dealer to ask your question on other companies apart from BFSI or wealth management. Yeah, I think there is no further queries on wealth management industry. So I would like to thank you. Yes, I think there is one question again. Sorry. Yeah. So there is one question from Deepak ji. What is the full form of? I think you mean to say AIF. Basically, AIF is a special category of the fund wherein SEBI, as per the SEBI classification, it's a category 3 fund, and it is known as alternative investment fund. So basically, there the risk reward is slightly risk is slightly higher, and hence the product limit the minimum investment amount is 1 crore rupees. So if somebody want to invest in AIF by any fund manager, the minimum investment amount is 1 crore rupees, and they can offer multiple product over there. It can be a mix of debt and equity. It can be a long short product. They can have a concentrated portfolio, so there is no mandate in terms of diversification. So an AIF investing in equity can be can invest only in 3 to 4 stocks also, and they are free to make a long short position. They can take a derivatives as a bet, as an hedging instrument, or any speculative investment. So it is slightly riskier product, and it is offered only to the clients who can afford to invest at least 1 crore rupees in the AIF. So the next suggestion is from Jimmy Ji. Kindly do some educational learning webinar on technical charting on stock market. Yeah, definitely. Your suggestion has been noted down, and we will soon have one webinar on understanding of technical charts and various patterns. So your message will be definitely passed on to our technical and derivatives team. So Siddharji, very good question. Why fund managers avoid individual stock discussion in business media channel? So this is due to the compliance-led restriction, wherein SEBI, as per the SEBI regulation, the fund manager is not supposed to discuss his individual stock idea, because that can lead to some biasness and some kind of manipulation in some particular stock. So hence they are bound by the SEBI regulation, and they avoid discussing any stock. But however, if you try to listen to their interview and try to read between the line, you will get to know at least which are the sectors where the fund manager is bullish on or bearish on, and which are the few companies which he or she is talking about. Yeah, I think yeah, I think there is no further question from anybody. So I think we can being staying with us since last 1.5 hours. So thank you all. Thanks Shweta for giving enlightening us on the wealth management industry, and look forward to a healthy participation in all our future webinars. Thank you and good evening, and yeah, good night. Bye.